Perfect.
All right. We're
right.
back at it.
We're live. We're live. All right, man. What benefits has martial arts done for you?
Oh, wow. A big question.
Go right into it.
Well, martial arts taught me self-discipline, humility. Because before I started training martial arts, I used to thought that I can throw a punch. I had a few street fights, here and there, growing up, middle school, high school, whatever. But
Did you get beat up?
I mean, I was like ganged up on once, like by 5 dudes.
Oh, okay.
But I never lost a street fight other than that.
I thought you were gonna say gang banged.
Yeah, I got ganged up upon.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
All
Like,
right.
yeah, it was a brutal fight. We were throwing eggs at each other. Like there's this holiday in Turkey, like a special day that you make like a bonfire and then you jump over a bonfire and then at the end of the night you throw eggs at each other. I don't know why, some weird fucking tradition. But during that festival, like there was a group, like this group was notorious for starting fights actually. So one of their guys, like the lead guys, the head guys, approached me and asked me actually, are you gonna throw an egg at me? That's what he told me. And I'm like, if you throw an egg at me, I'm gonna throw an egg at you. I was okay, we'll see how it goes. Like he took like 6 feet, 6 steps behind, and then he threw this perfect egg, bro, like with a curved egg, literally a curved egg. And he hit me right in the eye too, like it was headshot. And then I throw like one back, and then I hit him like in the like this area.
The lat.
The lat, yeah, the lat. And then these motherfuckers like ganged up on me, dude.
So what they do? Like jump you or something?
They jumped me. One of the dudes actually took my pants, like he undid my
Come
pants.
on,
So I was
man. Where are we
fighting with
going
my
here?
fucking like
Where are we going here?
underpants.
Okay.
And my homies, they weren't around at the time. Like they were just doing their own thing in the corner. So we started brawling and stuff like that, and people intervened. So it turned into a brawl. And I found him like in the middle of the brawl. Like we started throwing punches, and then we got separated. And then this dude took the higher ground actually. Like we were close to the shoreline, and he took like a higher ground basically. And then he threw a punch. I rolled, and then I hit him with a body shot. I'm not even kidding. And he got very mad. And then we got separated even further. And this guy took like a big rock, bro, and he threw a rock at me. And another homie blocked the rock, bro. I'm not even kidding. Like his hand was all messed up. Like he got cut by the rock.
Okay. So what has martial arts done for you? So what has martial arts done? I know you kind of blacked out there for a second. Yeah. But hey, that was a very interesting story.
Yeah,
it's a very crazy
it's true
story.
facts.
I'm
like,
sure.
It's facts.
I'm sure.
You can ask around.
Is that why you decided to take martial arts?
No.
Okay.
I mean, that could have been a crazy cool backstory, though.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, my roommate at the time, like 2019, he was a big UFC fan. And the first pay-per-view that I watched live, actually, like I know what MMA was and stuff like that, but I wasn't a fan or training at all. So I watched Khabib versus Conor, actually. Like that's the first fight that I watched, like pay-per-view wise. And it was just electrifying, like you see this feral side of humanity, because in modern life, you don't experience this kind of intensity, right? Like you go out there, hey, sir, ma'am, it's more of a polite society now. It's like we don't actually conquer other than like civil wars and shit. But like, I'm like, oh, damn, like I want to train that. That looks real. So that actually made me train martial arts in certain sense. And it taught me a lot. Back to your question, which is a great question, by the way. Like it taught me self-discipline, humility, willingness to learn from other people, because I used to be more pampered, like I know that shit. But especially if you grapple, I mean, obviously striking too, but grappling is a different beast. I mean, you know that better than me. Like when you grapple and you don't have any idea, you're gonna get submitted like a lot.
Yeah.
By a girl smaller than you, like 125 brown belt will submit you like 5 times in less than 5 minutes. So.
Yeah, it just feels like you're suffocating.
Yeah,
That's what it feels like, when someone holds you down. It's a lot different from striking. They kind of have the same concepts, but kind of don't.
Right.
Like, yeah, grappling is the best way I can put grappling is like just torture. You feel like you're just drowning. If someone's on top of you and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to get out of something, you just feel like you're suffocating. You don't know what to do.
Right.
And that's why I definitely got into grappling in the first place. Not striking. Striking, it just looked really fucking cool. Watching boxing from like Mike Tyson to Manny Pacquiao to Floyd Mayweather growing up. Just like you, how you watch Conor and Khabib.
Right.
I was really into boxing.
That's your primary discipline, right?
Yeah, as I said before, yeah. But I just thought it was fucking cool. Like there was no reason. I guess I don't know if it's being a guy, and just thinking like just being this kid that has all this aggression. I'm like, fuck, I want to do that. And I knew that, like when Floyd Mayweather would like move his head, it wasn't just him like just doing some stupid crazy shit, just moving. I know there was some technique to it.
Right.
I knew at the time, at that age even, that there was like some high caliber it was like high caliber athlete stuff that they were doing. They were moving just like high level athletes. And that's really that got me into it. At first it was boxing, and then obviously it just trickled down from there, from Muay Thai. And Muay Thai, I thought it was just, let's just add knees and elbows. I thought it was the same exact sport. And then I thought it was just knees and elbows. I didn't even think about the clinch.
Clinch,
Till I actually got into, actually doing the sport. And then clinch is involved. And then I'm like, whoa. And then you meet people along the way. I met this guy, Mark, based out of San Diego. He taught his kids MMA, and then eventually he was also Filipino. So I don't know. We just kind of had that culture connection.
Right.
And then he was like, hey, do you want to, start taking it to the ground? So I took some private lessons with him, and then I took jiu-jitsu, and then that's all she wrote.
Damn.
Yeah.
I used to do gi a lot, right? Gi rather than no gi.
Yeah. That was the first, because I think mostly that's how it started. I don't know the full history, but with the emergence of like ADCC and the Gordon Ryan and Daisy Fresh, I think, right?
Yeah.
And all
guys.
that, and gi started getting big. I think it's just because it's more fast paced than no gi is more fast paced than gi,
right?
Probably for obvious reasons. Like there's more scrambles, so it's easier to watch. But gi, you can really learn a lot from it. Like me and Chase were talking about it today. And there's a lot of resistance because, you're grabbing onto each other.
Right.
You can't move. There's a lot of friction that comes with gi compared to no gi. But I like doing no gi because I like it more fast paced. Like you could move a little bit more, and the scrambles are really, really fun.
Right.
And obviously for, I guess for an actual MMA fight or whatever, or it's just more practical, I guess, or a street fight, it's just more practical.
I think it's because we're like still not old. Like I mean, I know we're not young, but we're not still old. Yeah. I think that's why we prefer no-gi a bit better. But if I'm like 40 or 50, I hope I can see that long. But I wouldn't want to grapple with a 20-year-old fresh dude. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, but I mean, if you're just playing it as the sport, you got guys in there that are 45 and they're still fucking animals. 50. Our boy Dennis, from jiu-jitsu, the Russian guy.
Menace.
God damn, he's a fucking beast, dude.
Dennis
Richards. Shout out to Denise Richards. That's my boy. But he's a fucking strong Russian ox. Like, I go with him. He's 45 years old. I compliment him all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I want to look as good and be athletic and as strong as you are when I turn that old. And honestly, that's the goal. If I can hope for anything, I don't care to be successful. I don't care to have a lot of money. I just want to be healthy and that strong and athletic to be able to move around like that every day.
Yeah.
Because that's my current circumstances, that I don't really care to compete. I mean, it's great that other people do. That's a whole nother, story within itself. But I just want to feel good.
Yeah.
I just want to regulate my emotions.
Yeah.
I want to fucking have camaraderie, with the boys, joke around, bust people's chops, get roasted
a little bit,
maybe go have lunch after, and then that's your day. And then all of a sudden you do it again and you feel good.
Yeah. You feel great after a workout. Even if you're tired, you work out and you feel more energetic. if that makes sense. You know, at least it's up. It's
and
usually
energetic
my
and
case.
calm at like the same time. It's fucking weird. Like you really don't give a shit about anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what like Sean Strickland was saying in that video. It's kind of like you just I saw a video of him talking about like you know when he gets home after a hard day's worth of training, he comes home to his girlfriend and his girlfriend will like nag him, and then he'll be like, "Yes, everything's gonna be okay, babe. Everything's gonna be cool." It's like that's how I feel.
Right.
Like when I go to work right after that, I'll just be like, you know what I mean? People will complain and start shit. I'll be like, I don't fucking care.
So you prefer to work out before work or after?
Absolutely, man. I prefer to work, but that's just me. I prefer to work out before work. To get it out of the way, I guess, you know, but it's just the routine that I built for myself.
Yeah.
If I did have to make it at night because I worked in the mornings, let's say it was the other way around, I'd still find a way to make it.
Yeah.
I know it because it's just
No
habits.
excuses, right?
It's just habits at this point. It's not even, it's no excuses, but it's not even really about that. It's just how your biology kind of like, or your mind pushes you to kind of go. There's something wrong, right? Like if you do it every day, it's almost like, dude, it's like you're on crack. Yeah, it's like a crack addiction.
Yeah.
It's almost like, oh, I gotta go. Like this is, and then I'm pissed off after. That's all I'm thinking about if I don't go. I'm like, fuck, dude. Like I'm mad at myself. That's pretty much what it is. But yeah, I was talking to someone about this. I think it was at work it was actually at work. And I was telling him, I don't know where we got to this point, but we got really deep. And I told him martial arts saved my life. For real. And I felt it like from the soul. I was like, oh, fuck, it did. Because, you know, as you know, kind of my story, like I used to drink all the time every day. And that's no exaggeration. 750 milliliters of whiskey every single day.
That's the whole bottle, dude.
Yeah. And I mean every single day. I got to point that out because, you know, people will probably think, oh, yeah, he probably drank like once in a while heavily. Nah, it was every single day. Damn. That was the escape.
Hangovers? No hangovers?
No, big time hangovers.
But you still function the next day?
But I still function the next day.
So
that's why I know.
Right.
See, you see what I'm saying? That's how I know. It's not even just like no excuses. It's just your habit is very, very powerful.
True.
Habits are so powerful, even if you're hungover, like, but to, like lose an arm, like you still find a way to go. Right. Like, like I was saying, martial arts saved my life, man. And that's not exaggeration. I saw that. I thought of that and I was like, wait, is that being like a little too dramatic? It's not.
It's not, yeah.
It's helped me in every way. My confidence, my self-esteem, the way I carry myself, my health, my fitness, the way I treat people, the way I take care of my parents. Yeah, just the way I try to support people. It's just because right. Martial arts is a hard thing to do. And when you go through that and you meet all types of people,
right.
It just changes everything. It's like a full 180.
And I feel like you and me, like we've been training for a minute, compete, sparred all the time, the capabilities that you can do or the capabilities that other people can do to you. So next time when you're in a conflicting situation, you're going to be like, oh shit, like I know what I can do or what he can do to me. So, like, okay. I'll take the high road on this one. But if you have no idea, and most of the street fights I feel like happens because of that reason, they're like, yeah, what's up? Swing at me. I'm like, dude, you're going to eat this overhand right now. Like, just shut the fuck up. You know what I'm
exactly.
Like, so
it's not even, and it's not like we're fucking high level like UFC champions over here even, but we do train, and that's pretty much the 1% of the population. If you gather up all the people,
right,
there's something to be said about that. It's not for everyone, and I'm lucky that I got to fall into that category where I did enjoy it because it gave me an outlet. Like, I'm very, very lucky. Sometimes I want to say, my ego wants to say like, yeah, good job. Like, you're the one that got up and did it, and kudos to you for getting up every day and going. I don't know, man. I don't know if that's how it works. I don't know if it's a universe kind of thing, but I got lucky, man. Because yes, you do have to put in a certain work. You really want it. And the reason for the why has to be really strong for you to do it. But which, yes, I did. But then it's almost like, how did I even get to stick to it? What synapses in my brain connected to cause me to like it, to stick with it, and made me happy, and is still doing it till this day. And I'm 38 years old. You know, and I don't
38
foresee
years young.
38 years young, and I don't foresee myself quitting like even in 10 years. When I'm 48, I don't. Like, yeah, I might be a little less fucking agile, but I'm still gonna be doing it because I've created the identity for myself. Yeah.
Right.
So what about you, man? So let's get into the competing aspect of it, man. How has that kind of changed, like your mentality on the way you approach things? Because I know competition is on its different level. Like there's one thing to train, and then there's one thing to actually train for competition. You know, with all the weight cuts, you have to be super disciplined. Like I feel like it's like you're going into this 4 to 8 week training camp of just fucking go, 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 go. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So before my first fight, like I didn't know what it feels like to be actually in the ring, right? Because like street fights and whatever. But in a competition environment, like you go through blood tests, you go through the wake up, like you said, and there's like bright lights, there's a crowd, people cheering, booing, there's a referee who says fight, and there's this dude in front of you who wants to like knock you out. So in my first fight ever, like almost over 3 years ago now at this point, like I didn't know how to handle the adrenaline. Like I did have the adrenaline rush, and then I gassed out in the first round. Like that's how it happened.
Yeah.
You tense up a little bit, but over the course of the next year or 3 years later, now I'm like, it's just another day. It's just sabay, relax, breathe in, breathe out. If you get a kick, so what? So what? You punch back. So my way of thinking changed drastically for my first competition until this day. There's obviously a big leap, not just the skills that I acquired along the way with my training partners and my coaches and stuff like that. It's like that competition feeling decreased, but also at the same time skills increased. So it's
Yeah. I think you just get acquainted to it, kind of like anything else, right? We seem to have a theme of like how to build skills, and even internal stuff like regulating your emotions and stuff like that. You just have to keep doing it to get good at it,
Right.
and to calm the nerves a little bit,
Right.
or like approaching a girl like we talked about last week, right?
Right,
Or
exactly.
a girl that you're attracted to. You just have to keep doing it no matter how scary it is, and then all of a sudden those feelings of fearfulness will subside a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 100%.
So what is you stopped going to like an actual big gym, which is Syndicate, right? Because you
Yes.
live far away from the house.
True.
And I know we got the gym, Paradox Fight Club, over at Johnny's.
Right.
How does it feel?
Garden.
The Garden. How does it feel to be training, like without a schedule? Because I was talking to Chase about this today, and it's crazy because you go to classes, like Orange Theory or CrossFit or Syndicate or something, whatever it is that you're doing, spin class, and it's almost like the workouts are already, you're being told what to do. Number one, number two, you have to make it on time because the classes are what time it is. If you make it, if the class is at 10 o'clock and you show up at 11, well, there's no class, so you can't work out.
Right.
So I kind of found it easier to kind of like outsource I guess you could say outsource your scheduling that way. Give it to someone and just show up and actually do the workout, which makes it a lot easier. But talk about how you have to do it on your own now, right? Because you literally have to be like, you can't cut yourself some slack.
No, you can't.
Sure, yeah.
Right. That's where the self-discipline kicks in, because there's no class, like you said. So you have to work out in the morning or in the evening whenever you have time. That being said, we got a nice mat space, heavy bags, all that stuff. And like the training partners are high level. Like we got Nas coming over, Bernardo, Adam, Yuki holds pads pretty good. It gets kind of repetitive, but at the same time, you actually get to know these people a bit better. How to hold pads, and like they know your style, so you get used to it.
It's a great point.
Yeah,
it's a great point.
But when I was training at Syndicate, like I was partnering up with random people, so they don't know how to hold pads. So like I feel like the workouts that I'm getting right now is slightly, I'm not going to say much better, but slightly better than my Syndicate training schedule, because there's some classes that are like, okay, we're just gonna do the same shit.
I see
Same
what
shit.
you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that's a very great point. I I do help with beginners from time to time. Obviously we were once that.
Right.
But obviously you're there. As selfish as it sounds, you're there to get your work in.
Yeah.
Obviously internally you do want to help out, but it's almost like, damn, we got to get yours right.
Right.
So I'll partner up with like the experienced guys most of the time. And yeah, man, like it's just and obviously the same people come.
Right.
Like mostly the same people are pretty consistent, and the ones that aren't consistent, they end up leaving.
Follow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Follow.
so it's
Yeah.
kind of good just because you get to know those people and then you see them progress as they go, which is fucking great.
Right.
I know you haven't been. That's another thing I want to talk about because
Grappling.
just martial arts in general,
Right.
whether it's Muay Thai or Jiu Jitsu, because ever since you left, there's obviously there's a whole bunch of a new wave
Fresh
of people that
faces,
came
yeah.
in. Yeah, and some of those guys, you get close to because they show up every day. You're holding pads and stuff like that.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, like shout out to this guy Mike, like and John, this guy John, even like they're young. John especially, he's like 21. He just tore an ACL. But anyway, playing pickleball.
Side note.
Out of all things. But but these guys, like, it motivates me. It's admirable seeing people continue on with it, right? Because some guys you just see, it's kind of like, oh, he's not gonna make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, oh fuck.
The
Like,
tri-class.
yeah.
Guy, right?
And but to see someone or to see people break through that barrier to where they started, because that's the hardest part, to go after 6 months, a year, it's really admiring and inspiring.
Right.
Like you've done it, but then it's subjective just because you're looking at it from your lens. Like you can't really tell because it's you.
Right.
But when you see other people do it, then you could kind of gauge like, oh, that was me one time. Holy shit. Like,
Right.
wow, the progress, it really is like a sight to see. It's kind of like anyone else. Like if they go to just a regular gym and they lose weight and then all of a sudden they transform into, they're all healthy and fit. It's admirable.
Right.
It's inspiring. There's nothing more inspiring, I think.
Right. To see that transformation journey. Because
Yeah.
we all, I feel like, starting martial arts, we all did went through a transformation journey unique to our own experiences. But like, if you want to trace back to what we were talking about, like teaching beginners, like that level actually is great, because then you get to share your experience with someone who's fresher, newer. But you also have to have an equal that can, like, iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's someone who has lesser skills than you. There's someone equal, and there's the master that you actually learn. So there are like the 3 levels of learning, right? So you have to have someone that you can teach. You have to have someone that pushes you, and you have to have a master that teaches you new techniques that you don't know.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I'm missing right now. Like, because Johnny, shout out to Johnny, is in Thailand still.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward for him to come back. So I want to learn. You know?
Of course. And Johnny,
I got Adam, like Isaac, Nas. Like Nas is very high level, but those are
Yeah, but
iron sharpens iron level.
exactly. There's levels, right? I
Right.
mean, this is obvious, but then there's levels. And Johnny, he's the one that voluntarily puts the time into like teaching you guys, teaching me when I was around him.
Right.
Very, very good guy. Like it's crazy, like his depth. He doesn't talk it, dude. He walks it.
Yeah.
Like he walks it. He'll go to Arizona with you guys.
He drove us there.
He drove us there for nothing.
Helped me cut weight. He didn't charge me a single dime, bro. Like,
It just shows a lot about like his passion for fighting in general, and like how he takes care of people. Fuck, like if there isn't a bigger purpose than that, that's a great example of what purpose is.
Right.
It's that. It's like bringing yourself up to be at the highest level promotion, which is the UFC, and then teaching the upcoming guys, going with them to coach them. He has you guys like living, in the garden at his house, and man, that's a great example. That's a great idol.
Yeah, he's a great coach for sure. Massive shout out.
Yeah.
And he went there with his family, and like Linda, his spouse. It's just great, dude. Like, it's a great overall experience, and the boys are doing great. They've been knocking kids out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's also very inspiring to see the family grow, you know. So
For sure.
yeah.
So yeah, this is good. I think we're gonna wrap it up because I think this is like a good length. But we'll do a little monologue, which means, do you have any final words about like martial arts and the subject that we talked about? You know, like do you want to add any inputs on like what you learned from it or your experiences before we
Wrap it up? Yeah, the one thing, if you ever want to compete, this is for the people who wants to compete in the future. Try to stay relaxed and breathe. Relax and breathe. Try to see everything. I mean, obviously, some punches or kicks or elbows, knees, whatever, they're gonna slip, but how you react is gonna determine the outcome of the fight. So try, like, even if you got kicked, like, so what? Like, so what? Unless you break your arm, that's a different ballgame. But
it's probably for some people. So what?
Yeah, yeah. Even if you get kicked, like, punch him back right in the face. That builds you that confidence, and he's gonna be, oh shit, this guy actually punches hard. Because if you just eat it and like you take a couple of steps, I'm like, yeah, I smell blood. So,
Yeah, and in some cases, you tend to find out that it wasn't that bad, right?
Right.
It's almost like if you take a hit, obviously not like the one that knocks you out or hits you flush. It's almost like, oh, okay, motherfucker. Like, you're kind of ready to go. That's good. So I'm going to be talking about this just for the average trainer and the hobbyist. I'm going to try to motivate. I'm going to try to go ahead and motivate you to keep going. And this isn't just for martial arts. It's for any activity that you do. Because one theme, especially starting this podcast, is it's the hardest when you're starting off.
right.
Once I read this in Stephen Covey's book, was it? Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
And it was talking about like a rocket ship. It takes a lot of force and push and pull and all that stuff to go up into space. But after that, you're just kind of cruising.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So after that barrier, after, let's say, for example, if you go to the gym, the first like month, 2, maybe even 3 is just going to be the worst. It's the worst because you're uncertain of the future. You don't even know if you're going to get fit. You see no results in anything that you do. Martial arts, spin class, I don't give a shit. CrossFit. But if you stick to it, the payoff compounds. And the grass is greener on the other side when that happens. So I think that's probably like the last word I'd like to get in about anything fitness and martial arts.
Very insightful words.
Yeah. But I think this is good. You know, we're
Episode
still
4.
Yeah. So yeah, let's wrap it up.
Right. We took a week hiatus.
Took a week hiatus. We needed some brain fuel
Right.
for this. All right, man.
All right.
Nice.
Good episode, bro.